I want to assure everyone, hit that like, by the way, you're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide. Subscribe. And if you like what you're seeing, say something in the comment section. Also subscribe. And things that I'm supposed to say as a professional streamer. I want you to know that maggots are not just upset about the Epstein stuff, although they are boiling about it all day, every day. They are also pissed about the big, beautiful bill, which is, what's the word I'm looking for? Shite and full of nonsense. So this is Rebecca Zejko, and she's unpacking the 2015-2014 House passage of the major bill, fueled by intense overnight votes and President Trump's critical intervention to secure a razor-thin victory, which, again, it went to the Senate. It's going to be sliced up, and the one that comes back is not going to look anything like it. That said, let's before we even get to this one, let me jump to this one right here. So, Rapey McFivehead over here had on Rep. Burchett, and he's not happy about the bill either. This is on the reconciliation bill. Trump is being misled about the bill and may have to come off the top turnbuckle because he has this inflated view of Trump's machismo and masculinity, which is hilarious and stupid. Oh, and then there's
about 10 years ago, we launched the first and most widely used stable coin, enabling over.
Why is Big Pharma trying to patent this pepper trick for nerve pain to keep it off the internet? No more tingling, no more numbness, no more burning.
Joining us now, member of the House Foreign Affairs and Oversight Committees, my good friend, Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett. So, Congressman Burchett, what do you make?
Hey, asshole, don't call him your good friend. They might want a future career in politics.
President Trump's trip to Saudi Arabia.
I call it an extreme victory lap, Matt. I think they respect him and they fear.
Yes, they respect the fact that he has a total disdain for the poor in his country, just like they do.
Economically. You know, everybody talks about America's military might, and you represented one of the largest military installations in the country, but that should be our last option. Our first option, which Trump understands, is economics. And he's over there. I believe that they'll probably be talking nuclear energy, the small nuclear reactors. They're going to talk AI.
Yeah, all topics that Trump is just a whiz bang at. By the way, this is the shot where he fell asleep. That's literally the one where he was like,
you know, and I think Iran's already said, you know, warned them of doing that, of cutting some deal or something. And I think it just puts Iran behind the 8 ball. And I really think that Trump.
Yeah, man, that's what we got to do. Put Iran behind the 8 ball.
Is on the world stage where he doesn't.
By the way, don't say 8 ball to Matt Gaetz. I'm just saying.
Best, and the world is watching, and the stock market is too, obviously.
It is something that the stock market went into the black for this year of Trump after all of the panicins had their moment. It seems those who bought.
Yeah, that is because of a new economic theory that is going around called taco. And taco is the idea that that the volatility caused by Trump doesn't matter because Trump always chickens out. They were reacting to these tariffs and other stuff like they were for real, but Trump always chickens out. If the pressure gets too big, they don't have to worry about it. They're all taco trading now. And it creates this, the look of this taco shell is what they're calling it. It's like gap in the center of it where everything drops and then it comes back because Trump always chickens out. And again, people in Trump's circle know when he's going to do something before everybody else does. And they do puts on all this stuff and when it goes down, they make money. And then they know when he's going to call it off. He sends everybody a fucking eggplant emoji or something, and they all know when it's going to happen right about here, and they buy back in, and whoop, it goes back up, and they make a ton of money. They know that when they can sell. And he's just going to keep doing it. It's just a rug pull every time we turn around.
did pretty well. President Trump did surprise many when he announced today in Saudi Arabia that there would no longer be sanctions on Syria. How do you think about Syria, Congressman Burchett, and do you support President Trump's decision to order the removal of their sanctions?
Real quick, Burchett can never disagree. Let's see if he even makes an attempt.
I think that, you know, I think we should have limited involvement in other people's, in other countries and their messes. But, you know, Syria hasn't been a very good friend to us, but I think I do trust President Trump in his dealings with them. And I believe this brings them to the table and he understands it. And
sorry, he's got like some fucking orange and gray pubes caught in his throat.
Excuse me, and they understand it. So on face value, I do support it, but I think Trump is the classic trust but verify kind of guy. If they screw him over, he'll come back with a, as we say,
he'll strafe bomb them.
East Tennessee, a warp your head off hold.
I think the neocons might be going a little nuts over this trip because the fever dream of the neocons was to draw us into some war with.
Also, by the way, stop saying neocons. Stop that shit. You're talking about PNAC. This is like, this neoconservatives is this new version of conservatism. You guys are the new neoconservatives. This is the updated version of what it means to be conservative. There's this neocon as a pejorative for just anybody doesn't fucking work. This is a strictly Republican thought process that caught up with you guys, and then it cost too much money, and the racist elements of your party have now outrun the people who want to do resource wars. That's it. It's not because you guys had a moral turn.
Iran. That's what the think tanks have been paid to push.
Yes, the Project for a New American Century, the Heritage, I don't know, the Nurses Union and like the education reform NGOs aren't grinding on whether or not we should do a domino attack on Middle Eastern countries. It's all Republicans.
Cases and the like. And now you have President Trump doing this big diplomatic trip uniting the Sunni Arab countries of the Gulf against Iran, not with shots fired, but with smart trade deals, with mutual investment. And at the same time, you've got the...
No. An enormous military trade. Like one of the biggest military sales. Like you could argue that all the rest of this blather about AI and micronuclear and all this kind of stuff that's like 10 years out or is just a normal purchase agreement that they would have had with NVIDIA anyways is just to mask the enormous military sale he just made that helps him justify his $1 trillion budget. Because this is, when you do a military sale like this is when the military turns a profit.
Saying that they don't want to mess with international shipping and they don't want to be bombed anymore. Do you
Yeah, they didn't say that.
think that the cessation of hostilities with the Houthis combined with this diplomatic flex makes war with Iran less likely?
I do, 100% do, and because I think it also shows the incredible support that President Trump has. We had a meeting last week with King Abdullah, and and we stressed with him that very fact that we don't need any more wars with Iran. And I don't think those folks like us want to send their boys and girls into any more wars. They'd rather sit at home and make money. And I think mutually that this is going to be economically beneficial to both countries or to both groups, and especially to America, because what's always happened in the past. Joe Biden, he'd write a strong letter of whatever, and now you're seeing the Israelis. They're at the table with some of these folks, and you're seeing your pieces breaking out. President Trump. Yeah, look, let's be honest. If this was Obama, he'd be getting his third Nobel Peace Prize. They'd already be dusting it off. And Joe Biden, well, they can tell him he's got as I always used to say when he'd walk into a room, hey, there's no ice cream party here for me. But I think, the world is the world.
Oh, by the way, hilarious, dude. This is just fucking killer. This is great. These jokes never fail. They're great go-tos. You can't go wrong. But I mean, there is this issue. Trump administration urged to support striking Iranian truckers' potential to paralyze the regime. Strike wave reveals deep disenchantment among Iranians who are denied dignity and proper rights in every industry. This is on Fox, by the way. And then, how about this? Iran takes Trump's negotiators for a ride. These are all the newspapers that basically are mocking him in the country. And then, of course, Kristi Noem. Let's see if we can get this and skip to this. And once I get past this ad, I'll come back to it in a second. The truckers in Iran continue their strike for better conditions as the action is reportedly spread to over 100 towns and cities. This is, and by the way, this is to support striking Iranian truckers, not support striking Iranian truckers. Potential to paralyze regime. Basically, this is, the same kind of manipulation that, this gives Trump an opportunity to go, well, we mess around in other people's countries. We sent money to their truckers so that they would fuck up the place, or maybe we already are. Maybe this is also, this could be Israel pushing this a little bit. It could be completely organic. It could be a mix. If it is organic, the U.S. and the Israelis would be dumb not to help it, especially considering the Islamic regime is at odds with the general populace most of the time.